Thank you. It's clear.
Good morning, councillors. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Speaker.
Morning, Speaker.
Molo.
I'm just going to do a roll call for now. Check if everyone is logged in on the meeting. Can I start with Councillor Bester?
Morning, Madam Speaker. Councillor Bester present.
Morning, Councillor Bester. Councillor Kraut? Councillor Kraut? Councillor Davis?
Madam Speaker, I'm here.
Morning, Councillor Davis. Councillor Quinana?
Molo Speaker in the corner. Can Bona speak?
I can just see your head. It's fine. Councillor Matika? Councillor Matika? Councillor Matiwana?
The corner, Speaker.
Morning, Councillor Matiwana. Councillor Naki? Councillor Naki? Councillor Ngezu? Morning, Councillor Ngezu. You've got no sound. Can you unmute you?
You hear me now, Speaker?
Thank you. Morning, Councillor Ngezu. Councillor Sabah? Councillor Sabah? Okay. Councillor Salase? Morning, Councillor Salase.
Yes, Speaker.
Morning, Councillor Salase.
Morning, Speaker.
Morning, Councillor Sabah. I can see you. You must unmute yourself, Councillor Sabah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Present.
Good morning, Councillor Skosana.
Morning, Speaker.
Morning, Councillor Skosana. Councillor Strubel.
Good morning, everybody. Morning, Speaker. Speaker, can you see me from afar?
Yes, Councillor Strubel.
Thank you.
Councillor Tsangwa.
Speaker, goeiemorgen, Speaker. I'm present.
Councillor Chokolo.
Good morning, Speaker. I'm here.
Morning, Councillor Chokolo. Councillor Maketa. Councillor Maketa.
Good morning, Speaker. Present.
Morning, Councillor Maketa.
I'm present, Speaker.
And you just put your camera on. Okay. Councillor van Aswegen.
John, Speaker, can you see me?
Not yet.
Goedemorgen. Ik hoop ik kan me horen.
Yeah, well, it's on, Speaker.
Got an apology from Councillor Wasserman. Councillor Weideman.
Good morning, Speaker.
And Councillor Wolmerans.
Teenwoordig speaker. Môre almal.
Okay, I can see you, Councillor Kraus. Just unmute yourself.
Present.
Okay. I couldn't see Councillor Biderman. I just heard she was like far away. Morning, Councillor Biderman, can you just unmute yourself?
Good morning.
Morning, Councillor Biderman. Thank you, everyone. I can see Acting MM. Can you just introduce your directors? It's part of the meeting.
Good morning, Speaker, Councillors. The Director Corporate is present, Director Planning and Development is present, Acting Director Community, Director Infrastructure Services is present, Acting Director Integrated Human Settlements is present. Mr. Jack Carsten's locked in, but I allowed him to be recused from this meeting because he needs to deal with the AG and COMEF, so he need just to be recused from this meeting, Speaker.
Thank you, MM. I can see Mr. Barrel.
Morning, Speaker.
I need to unmute someone. Thank you. Morning, Mr. Barrel.
Morning, Speaker.
Who else of the managers are in the meeting?
Hello, Speaker. The CEO is in the meeting.
Good morning, CEO. I can see Carl. I can see Carl. Thank you.
Hi, Madam Speaker. Director Infrastructure. Sorry, I was having a problem getting with my connection. I'm in.
Okay, thank you. The MM already did that for me. Ms. Paulson, are you in the meeting?
Yes, Speaker, my hand is up. Good morning, councillors.
Morning. Okay. Okay, I think we can start with
Good morning, Speaker. Sorry, my hand is up.
Yes.
Good morning, Speaker. I just wanted to record that. Oh, I just wanted to record that I'm in the meeting, Lindy Lepetuna.
Thank you, Mr. Petuna. I also see Miss Phillips, HR. Morning, councillors. Once again, morning to all officials, morning to the members of the public that are also tuned into this meeting this morning. We're going to go to point 1. Already welcome everyone. Point number 2. We're going to reflect on a silent prayer for now. Thank you, everyone. I think this morning we must think of.
Sorry, Speaker.
Councillor Naki.
I'm in.
Can you put your camera on?
Okay. Can you see me?
Today you look like Councillor Quinana.
Dana.
It's black. Like a lot of smoke there. Thank you, Councillor Naki. Councillors,
No comment.
this morning we must think of the protests of the students and put them in our prayers. We can go to point 3.1, councillors present. 3.2, councillors present with leave, Councillor Wasserman. 3.3, councillors present without leave. No one is, it's not the agenda without leave. Then point number 4, the noting of the provision of code of conduct for councillors. Point number 5, disclosure of interest. Anyone wants to disclose anything that on the item on the agenda? There's none. You can move. We on point number 6. New matter submitted by the municipal manager. Councillor Krauts.
Thank you, Speaker. I think before we get to that item, I just want to ask for a caucus, Speaker, 10-minute caucus.
Granted, Councillor Krauts. Let me just look at the time. It's 12 minutes past, so you must be back at 22 minutes past. Thank you, Councillor Krauts. Granted.
Mdange. Awukho ekhokasini.
Dane Nkosi yami.
Councillor Krauts, are you back? Councillor Krauts? I see your hand is still up. Can someone just check for me?
Do you want to do a roll call, Speaker?
I think I'll do that. But in the meantime, can Kirsty or Chanel just check for me where Councillor Krauts is? Councillor Bester?
Present, Madam Speaker.
The Krauts? Nothing there. Councillor Davis?
Speaker, I am here.
Councillor Quinana?
Corner Speaker.
Councillor Matika? Councillor Krauts, I see your hand is up. Councillor Matika? Councillor Naki? Councillor Ngezu?
Speaker and corner. Corner Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Councillor
Speaker.
Sabah?
Speaker. Sorry, Speaker. Sorry, Speaker.
Councillor Tiwana, I can see you.
Sorry, Speaker. Matika here. Speaker.
And then I see Councillor Naki.
Yeah.
Councillor Sabah, I can see you.
Thank you, President Speaker. Thank you.
Call Matiwana.
I can see you, Councillor Matiwana.
Speaker. Councillor Kraus.
Councillor Matika.
Councillor Kraus asked me to ask you for another 10 minutes. He's still having a caucus for another 10 minutes.
Let me just look at the time.
Yeah, not back yet.
Speaker, we still have a council meeting today.
Yes, yes, Councillor Salasi.
Okay.
Michael meeting later.
Oh, it's a makeover. Yes,
To make those later. The time now is, I think you must be back at 25 to Councillor Matika.
Yes, Speaker.
The 10 minutes is granted.
Thank you, Speaker.
Danga attend the caucus. More burgermeester. Die uitvoerende burgemeester.
Ja, meneer. Kom zo gee mij.
No, I just hear the sounds of high heels there.
High heels. Listen here, my wife is at school, eh? So you can't hear high heels.
No, your mic has been on for a while. Now I hear sounds of high heels.
No, I think you...
It can't be your shoes.
My own shoes, I can't have high heels. I'm not there yet. I'll wait for you to do that first. Can I... Let me rather mute me. Come on, I need to go.
What is happening, Speaker? This is really wasting a lot of our time.
Speaker. Speaker.
Apologies, Councillor Matika.
Speaker, Councillor Kraus is back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just maybe just for the last time, I hope everyone is back. Councillor Kraus? It's going to take
Speaker,
a lot
I'm
of time.
back.
There's a hand up. It's your hand, Councillor Matika. Thank you, Councillor Kraus. We were on point number 6. The appointment of recruitment and selection panel for filling of the Director of Community Service position. And it's on page number 4. Councillor Sabah, I see your hand is up, and Councillor Skosana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Are you not doing a roll call again, or are we going to proceed?
I thought I'll skip that one, but I can do it.
Okay, no, it's fine. If I may, Madam Speaker,
I thought everyone is back.
If I may, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to record that it's a waste of time in terms of calling caucuses. It would have been respectful of the ANC to have caucuses prior to us calling the meeting and the meeting starting. We have staff members on the clock. There are 42 people in attendance in this meeting, and we all have things to do. So I'd just like to ask the ANC, please, to make consideration or take consideration for other people's time and the fact that staff members are on the clock and it's a waste of staff resources. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Bach, I'm not sure where you're coming from, because caucuses are allowed, and I must grant people time if they need to caucus, and I'm doing it with everyone.
I understand that, Madam Speaker.
So hands is up.
Yes, Speaker. Greetings to everyone. Someone is talking, Speaker. Let me mute myself.
I think they're muted now. You can go, Councillor Sana.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I won't entertain Councillor Sabak. Maybe he doesn't know that she's in a political space. Already answered her. Speaker, I need to understand it from page 4 on the discussion. There's a paragraph 2 there that says section 12, bracket 2, further stipulate that in deciding who to appoint in a selection panel, the following considerations must be informed the decision. Which section, from which book are we reading there? I think whomever, the author must be clear. I need to understand that. From where was this taken out? From which book? Because I'm having all the books in front of me. I've got an interest. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Sana. Acting MM.
Speaker, I didn't get the question. Can the councillor repeat?
Now, the question was the section 12, 1 of regulations. That's from which book
The
are you
regulation,
taking from?
the regulation is
No,
attached.
section 12, sorry.
The regulation.
That's it. Sorry,
the
MM.
regulation.
Sorry, MM.
Apologies, MM.
Wait.
Councillor
Section
Sana.
12, section 12.2. From which book? 12, not 12.1. 12.2.
Oh, okay.
12.2 is the same regulation as referred to in 1. And the regulation referred to is attached on page 7.
Councillor Sana.
Back to you, Speaker. I'm paging because I just wanted to know the book is. I just had to say Systems Act or the whatever, but I'm checking it. I'll get back to you, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. We on page number 4. Councillors, the recommendation is starting on page number 5. There's a A, B, and a C.
Sorry, Speaker, can you just repeat yourself?
I said we on page number 4. We were on the discussion, Councillor Kraus, and there's a recommendation A, B, and C. Councillor Kraus?
Thank you, Speaker. I've got actually on the recommendation A, Speaker, that Council notes a report on the composition of the, we support that one. On B, Speaker, I see there's a name. On the other one, I don't see a name. But Speaker, direct for the external person, we would like to recommend Bito. That the acting MM engage Bito and make sure that that Bito be part of the panel on the selection of director community, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Kraus. Councillor Trocolo?
Yes, thanks, Speaker. No, Speaker, I just want to propose that we go with the recommendations as they are. I think the proposal by Councillor Kraus is also going to prolong this process now. We've been having this position vacant for a long time. So I think, Speaker, I would support the recommendations as they are. I don't think it will make any difference. Thanks.
Councillor Kraut?
No, Speaker. I am sticking with my proposal. You see, when the DA prolongs stuff, and then it is not a problem. Now suddenly we prolonging. Now in Councillor Luzuko's mind, we are now prolonging. It is all right, Councillor Luzuko.
Speaker.
Councillor Weideman, and then Councillor the Deputy Mayor. I think I've heard your voice.
Thank you, Speaker. I second Councillor Tikolo's recommendation. Thank you that we accept it as it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Speaker, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Speaker, I want to second, Speaker, the proposal made by Councillor Kraut. And Speaker, I want to move to say we must be very patient with one another into this meeting, colleagues. We are not running a banana town here. We must always, in all what we're doing, we must make sure that we're doing the right thing. You know, we are doing the right thing. So there's absolutely no point for us to be told that we are wasting time. It's wrong, Speaker. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Tsengwa. Councillor Zuko and Councillor Weideman, are those old hands?
No, Speaker, mine is not an old hand.
Okay.
Apologies, but mine is an old hand.
Thank you, Councillor Zuko.
No, Speaker, just from Councillor Kraut, Speaker, maybe the motivation of changing the recommended name there. What would be maybe the motivation to change it to Bito? You see, just because the motivation, Speaker, might change people's minds. You see, I mean, we are here to persuade each other. I just want to hear that.
Thank you, Councillor Zuko. Acting MM.
Chairperson, maybe I should just inform the council that the council resolution on page 4 was that the acting municipal manager approached the municipal managers of Bito, George, Garden Route, and Mossel Bay. Now, at the time when I approached these municipalities, there was an issue with the municipal manager with regards to a court case in Bito, and I could not, there was not a municipal manager that I can contact there. And in terms of the process, we are strict with time frames in regard to the selection panel because there's a 30-day period after the closure of the advertisement. Now, if we're out of that time, we compromise the process. And we've contacted George, we've contacted Garden Route, and we contacted Mossel Bay. But at that point in time, was the issue around the municipal manager of Bito was on in terms of the court case. I opted not to do that because there was an issue with the municipal manager then.
Thank you, Acting MM, Councillor Kraut.
Thank you, Acting MM. I just want to know, you know, in Bito there was an acting MM. While this thing was going on in Bito, there was an acting MM, and I'm sure your office could have made use of contacting the acting MM in that regard, Speaker. And also, we being cost effective, we are always saying there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. Why we want to go how many kilometers from Neisner when we have our neighbors Bito right close to us, 25 minutes out of Neisner. So I think Councillor Lezuko, that might also answer your question. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Kraut. Councillors, we've got now. Councillor Zuko, do you want to say something?
No, Speaker, I just wanted to say, hearing from what the MM has said now, I think I should stick with the recommendation that's in front of us. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Kraut, at the other end.
Yes, Speaker, it's an old land. Let me stick my hand down.
Councillors, there is a recommendation A, B, and C. We are now dealing with recommendation B. That are saying that we must take Mossel Bay. There's a proposal that we stick with the recommendation as it is. Maya, do you want to say something? What's happening here?
Speaker, no, I swear you, my hand is not up. I just.
Your name is just flickering at me. Maybe just need to mute. Yeah, thank you, Maya. On recommendation B, we are saying that there's an issue of Mossel Bay and there's a name supported by Councillor Luzuko, seconded by Councillor Weideman. There's now a new one that said we must just put the municipality there, said Bito. And then it was proposed by Councillor Kraus and seconded by Councillor Tsengwa, if I'm not mistaken. So, Councillors, we've got two proposals on the table. Ms. Paulson?
Chairperson, thank you, Speaker. I just wanted to, in terms of the recommendation from Councillor Kraus, the regulations request that at least one other person who has expertise or experience in the area of the advertised post. Now, if we look at the recommendation, just a second, Speaker, recommendation C, where the name, the municipality's name is given, could we then put there the Director Community Services for Bito municipalities? Or so that we at least know, because if we just say Bito municipality, it doesn't give the name of one other person as the regulations requires.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Paulson. Then we will just say that the Bito Director of Community Service. Councillor Kraus?
Sorry, can the legal advisor just explain again what she's saying? Just in a little bit more simpler terms.
No, Councillor Kraus. The recommendation B is saying the Municipal Council notes the availability of Mrs. E. Nell, Director Community Service. So what Ms. Paulson is saying, you said Bito. So we must just then say Director of Community Service, because the person that was put in there is a person that got expertise on the directorate. If that is my understanding. Councillor Kraus?
No, Speaker, you are now explaining to me, which I don't have.
You can repeat, Ms. Paulson.
Or just confirm if the speaker is correct.
Thank you, Councillor Kraus. The speaker is correct in a summarization of what I have just said. If you read Regulation 12.4c, it says at least one other person. So we cannot just nominate a municipality, because a municipality is not a person. So we will have to say either the direct. Sorry, Speaker.
Yes, Ms. Paulson. We haven't gone to the next recommendation, but we must also then check the next recommendation. Then we have to also then fix that one.
Sorry, Speaker. Yes, I am already on C. Am I jumping the gun?
No, you're not jumping the gun. I'm just saying that we just need to fix the other one also. It's also just talking about the municipality, or talking about the CFO. No, you can. I understand you, Ms. Paulson. I think we're on the same page.
Person.
MM?
I don't think it's an issue if the council resolve that that Pito municipality at the, I mean, there is the reference is there, Director Community Services, and if council resolved that we must take out Mossel Bay and put in Pito, then we'll just put in Pito municipality next to the Director Community Services.
Thank you, MM. Councillor Krauss?
No, Speaker, I'm happy if we can just do that and move.
Okay. But I'm now saying there are two proposals on the table. Councillor Luzuko?
No, Speaker, I just wanted to find out for an example, Pito, because now we've gone out to say Mossel Bay, and I think this one is available. Now we don't know about Pito if he's available. Now that's why we're worried about prolonging this process, because you're going to go to Pito, then you find out he's not available.
Thank you, Councillor Luzuko. Councillor Krauss?
Thank you, Speaker. I think Councillor Teokolo, when the acting MM did explain, he did say he never consulted Pito. So I don't think that as a chief whip here, I would sit here and say Pito, and knowing that Pito is not available. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Krauss. Councillors, we've got two proposals on the table. I don't want to prolong this meeting. We still got a micro meeting to go to.
Chairperson?
Yes,
Chairperson, do I understand Councillor Krauss correctly that she indicated now that she already contacted Pito because she's aware that they are available?
I don't think we're going to entertain that one now. I think as administration, you must just go back and then do whatever you need to do.
It's important to answer that question for the credibility of this process.
Councillors, can we move?
Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Krauss, councillors, can we move? We've got two proposals on the table. One is saying we must stick with the recommendation as it is. The other one said we must put change B and put Pito, Director of Community Service. I will go with Councillor Piccolo first. Councillor Sabah.
Madam Speaker, I would have liked to have heard what the acting municipal manager had to say.
Councillor Sabah, I said we're not going to entertain it. We're moving now.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Thank you. Can I have your hand is still up, Councillor Sabah and Councillor Weideman?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, it is very important that we listen to what the acting municipal manager has to say. We want to know if there has been interference in this process or not. I mean, why can't we just have a straightforward answer? Has Councillor
what is the interference now, Councillor Sabah? Councillor Sabah, what is the interference?
Madam Chair, I'm not speaking. It's Councillor Weideman.
Weideman is speaking.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Sabah. My humble apologies. Councillor Weideman, I'm not sure about interference.
What I'm asking,
but I want us to move because there's you are always prolonging, councillors. You are always prolonging the meeting. There's two proposals on the table. Can we just move?
So we don't get answers. Thank you. Let's just take that for the record. We do not get answers that are asked. Thank you.
Councillor Krauss, your hand is up. And Councillor Wolmer.
Thanks, Speaker. Speaker, you see, when we started this meeting, we were told about time, and we are prolonging this meeting, and when we asked for a caucus. Now, I don't see what's happening now. The DA is doing the exact same thing. So this hypocritical thing of theirs, when it suits them, they can prolong. But when others do it, then it is an issue. I mean, please.
Thank
you, Speaker. Speaker, are we going to vote now? You said we're going to start with a proposal of
Yeah, we
Councillor
need to
Chokolo
vote
first.
because there's two proposals on the table.
I'm voting for the proposal of Councillor Chokolo that was seconded by Councillor Weideman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wolmerans.
I support the
Let-
proposal
let-
of
let's,
Councillor
Councillor
Chokolo.
Wolmerans, councillors, let's do it this way. Those that in support of the recommendation as it is, and those who are not in support of the recommendation as it is, who want to change it, that let's do for and against. Can we do it that way? Can legal just advise on us on this one? I think it will be easier.
Much easier, Speaker.
So I will start with Councillor Bester.
Madam Speaker, for Councillor Tokolo's proposal to keep it as it is.
You are voting for the recommendation as it is.
For the recommendation as it stands.
Okay. Councillor Kraus?
Thank you, Speaker. I'm voting for my recommendation.
Councillor Kraus? I said there's two. You are voting for or against. It means if you are against, it means your recommendation will then be changed.
Okay, so wait, Speaker. Councillor Bester said he's waiting for the recommendation as it is.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm voting against the recommendation as it is. Speaker,
Okay.
is that
And
correct?
for your change.
Yes, for my change.
Okay. Councillor Davis?
I am definitely voting for the item as it stands. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Let me just put my camera on. And I'm voting against, and I'm voting for Councillor Kraus's recommendation. Councillor Quinana?
I'm going with the recommendation as it stands. Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Quinana. Councillor Matika?
Speaker, I'm voting for change, not for continuity. Voting for change.
Councillor Matiwana?
I'm voting against the recommendation for change. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Naki?
Against for change.
Councillor Nezu?
Speaker, I'm voting against for a change.
Thank you, Councillor Sabah?
Madam Speaker, I'm just want to say that I think that it was wrong that we didn't hear what the acting municipal manager had to say.
Sabah, are you voting?
I'm voting for the recommendation as it remains.
Councillor Sabah? Councillor Salase?
I'm voting for Councillor Kraut recommendation. Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Skosana?
Ndihamba ne-chief whip eKhongolose. Sihlalo, Nkosi.
Interpreter?
I'm going with against, Councillor. Thank you, Speaker. Against. Thank you.
Councillor Strubel?
Speaker, I'm voting for the recommendation as it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tsengwa?
Speaker, I'm voting against nil. Yeah. Speaker.
Speaker, I'm voting for a credible process, which is the recommendations that's in front of us.
Councillor Maketa?
Speaker, I'll be abstaining on this one.
Councillor Van Asbegen? Thank you, Councillor Maketa.
Speaker, abstaining.
Councillor Weideman?
I'm for the recommendation and I am very disappointed in you, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Weideman. I've counted. Carl, can you assist us?
Did you count my vote in?
Yes, you already voted. You voted first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speaker, vote on our galo.
I've already voted.
Madam Speaker,
Yes, Councillor Carl.
8 councillors voted for the recommendation as it is in the agenda. 9 voted against the recommendation as it is in the agenda, and 2 councillors did not vote, they abstained.
Thank you, Councillor. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Matthias. Recommendation A, stand as it is. Recommendation B, there's a change. It said Bito Municipality, and it said the Director of Community Service. It was a change, and C, it stays as it is. Thank you, Councillors. Can we move to the next item? Councillor Skosana and Councillor Wolmerans, your hand is also still up. Councillor Wolmerans?
My apologies. My apologies.
Thank you. We on 6.2, the appointment of the recruitment and selection panel for filling of Chief Financial Officer position, and it's on page 56. Councillor Kraft, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Speaker. Not to waste any time, because I do not want to waste any more time, Councillor Sabah. Speaker, on page 58, E, I think there must just be a correction, because it says portfolio chairperson of community services. It doesn't say portfolio chairpersons of corporate and finance services. So I think that would, should just be should be amended. And then, Council, we are now also proposing the same as what we proposed on the previous item, that we go with Bito Municipality. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Zuko.
No, thank you, Speaker. No, I see on this one, on this item, Speaker, unlike the previous one, the name of the CFO of the garden route has not been given in the recommendations. Can we include that in the recommendations, or is there is there a reason for that not being included in the recommendations? If I can get that answer, Speaker, then I'll go to the recommendations.
Acting MM. Councillor Kraus, your hand is up. It's an old hand. Acting MM.
Yes, Speaker.
Councillor Zuko was asking a question about the name.
I will get the name now if it is relevant, Speaker.
Councillor Skosana.
Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. While we're waiting for the name, can we continue with the process? And if it get out that this recommendation stays, then we get the name. Can we go with the process first? Well, they might lose in the process because the ANC is proposing Bito, the day might propose Garden Road. Then we move with the process. Then if we finish the process, then it happened that they win, then the name can be attached to the recommendation. Can we continue for saving time? Because I'm worried of councillors like Sabah that need to go to serve his constituents.
Councillor Zuko.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. If the name is a problem, it's Jan Willem de Jager, the CFO of the Garden Road. But Speaker, just going to the recommendations, I'm very much concerned with Councillor Krauts. interfering, and I think this should be investigated, Speaker, but we'll deal with that later. But Speaker, the recommendations as they are, I agree with them, but I do just think we need to include the name of Jan Willem de Jager, because that is the CFO of that Jan, it's Jan Willem de Jager. That's the CFO of the Garden Road. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Paulson. As your hand is up.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I wish to caution against the recommendation from Councillor Tiokolo that we actually put a name there. You would recall that it has previously become a problem where we give a name instead of a position. Because that position, maybe Mr. De Jager is the CFO today, but someone else might be the CFO tomorrow.
Thank you, Ms. Paulson. Councillor Kraus?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I just want to say that if Councillor Tiokolo feels I must be investigated, he's most welcome. If he feels there was anything about interference, he's most welcome for an investigation to be launched to see how I interfered. So, Councillor Tiokolo, please, you're welcome to do that.
Okay, Councillor, we are on a recommendation here. Councillor Zuko?
Yes, Speaker, no, just a follow-up clarity from Melanie. I just want to understand, because in the previous recommendations, we managed to give a name of Nell, and on this one, because remember, I asked when I asked my first question was that on this one, is there a reason that we don't give a name on this one, CFO? Because I understand on the previous item we gave a name of Nell. If I can just get clarity on that, Speaker, thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Zuko. I think also in previous council meetings where we had to select a panel, we also agreed, because I think in one selection we had to people change, and they had to start all over again. And I think then we decided we must not attach names to the panel. So I think Ms. Paulson are coming from that recommendation that council at some point had to do. Acting MM?
Speaker, the person that the garden route gave us is Mr. J.W. de Jager.
Now, Acting MM, maybe you've missed the name, because Councillor Tiokolo already gave us a name, and then Ms. Paulson explained why the name was not attached to the panel, and she also gave the reasons, because Ms. Jan Willem de Jager might be the CFO today, and he might not be the CFO tomorrow. So that is why we don't want to attach names to the panel.
I understand that, but there was a question in terms of why the name was in the previous item and not here, and I said that I will come back with the name. So that's the reason why.
No, it's fine, MM. I'm just saying that then Ms. Paulson did assist Councillor Tiokolo. Councillor Skosana?
Ngosi somlomo ndiyacela man, masiqhubeni man. Esijikeleza into enye okoko ngoku. Ukhansila akafika izolo apho ukhansila Tiokolo. Uyayazi ebhungweni kwakusekho Peter Maya savumelana ukuthi mangabikho gama amacangweni kwesithuba ngoku. Amagama singafaka ngokhansila bakhoyo. Abantu abasuka ngaphandle sifake igama. Leyo into yayisivumelana because kafunga sijikise izinto apha item se-receipt. Siyasokola xa sifake igama. Ewanye impazamo lebike yenziwa nangulanto uminister wakhe with tax. Impazamo nje le yakubekho la gama pha. Sigqithile kula item bayiluzile. Bazoyende item ephambi kwethu. Sinenye intlanganiso kwesingene kuyo speak. Sinabantu baphandle bebenethelwe izolo kusiyobahoya. Baqhubeni man. Uvoto bakuyavota bakuvota ucace kwamjona lapha phambi kwethu. Ngabe bebekhala ngexesha ngokusasa.
Interpreter?
Madam Speaker, if you please go ahead with the meeting, because the Councillor Tiokolo was complaining about time previously, and this whole thing is taking longer. There's some people outside who rained wet last night and they need our attention, and we're also going to another meeting next. So they were complaining about time. Please, let's go ahead with the meeting. If you have to vote, let's vote. If not, let's go on. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Chokolo.
No, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I don't have a problem with the names. I was just referring to the item that we just dealt with now, which had a name on it. And I was asking on this one, but it's fine with me. I'm okay if you just say CFO Garden Road Municipality. It's not a problem. I was just saying the previous one we had a name, which is Enel from Mossel Bay. That was my thing, Speaker. But Speaker, I would like us to move with the recommendations that's in front of us. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Lusuko. Councillor Weideman. Councillor Weideman.
I move with Councillor Chokolo. I second the recommendation as it is. Thank you.
Councillor Skosana.
Xhasa uLando uClaudine Siona Crowd kule mcimbi waseBhayana.
I'm going with Councillor Kraus with the thing with the Beetle. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, councillors. There's two proposals on the table, and I think we need then now to vote. We will go with Councillor Bester.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm going with the recommendations as they stand.
Thank you, Councillor Bester. Councillor Kraus.
I'm going against the recommendations as they are.
Councillor Davis.
Madam Speaker, the recommendations as they are fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I'm going with the recommendation proposed by Councillor Kraut. Councillor Quinana.
I support the recommendation as it is, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Matika. Councillor Matika. Okay. Councillor Matika.
Speaker, I support.
Can you just put your camera on, please? Councillor Matika, can you put your camera on? Thank you. Councillor Matiwana.
I'm against the recommendation as is. I'm supporting Kraus' recommendation. Thanks.
Councillor Naki. Thank you, Councillor Matiwana.
I'm supporting Councillor Kraus' recommendation against.
Councillor Ngezu. Thank you, Councillor Naki.
Speaker, on the support of Councillor Kraut.
Thank you, Councillor Ngezu. Councillor Sabah.
Madam Speaker, I'm in support of the recommendations as they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Selase.
Speaker, support Chief Whip ANC Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Interpreter.
Madam Speaker, I'm going with Councillor Kraus. I'm against. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Skosana.
Extem Samir Radler Kraut, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Tsengwa. Sorry, Councillor Strubel. Apologies.
Speaker, I'm going with the recommendations as they are. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tsengwa.
Yes, Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I'm supporting Councillor Kraut's proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Chokolo.
Speaker, I'm supporting the credible recommendations that are in front of us. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Maketa.
Speaker, I'll be abstaining on this one too.
Thank you, Councillor Van Aswering-Meyer.
Speaker, yes, no, I abstain again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Weideman.
I'm for the recommendation as it stands. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wolmerand.
I'm for the recommendations as they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wolmerand. Carl, I've got 8-9. Carl, can you also maybe just confirm yours?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The recommendations as they are in the agenda are supported by 8 councillors. 9 councillors voted against it, with other words, for the new recommendation of Councillor Crouch, and 2 councillors abstained, did not vote. So the majority vote is then for Councillor Crouch's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Carl. So we just need to then put on recommendation E instead of garden route, we will put Bito. Thank you, councillors. That brings us to the end of our items on this agenda. We can go to item number 7. There was none. Number 8. Councillor Kusana and the Mayor, your hand is up.
Thank you, Speaker. I thought you're going to give me a 6.2, but Speaker, now this is a true reflection that is going to happen in Honley in these by-elections. Thank you.
Out of order. Mayor?
Speaker, no, thank you very much. Speaker, I'm not quite sure where I should raise this specific point because the agenda didn't make provision for it. And that is where to raise a matter of urgency. Speaker, there's motions of urgency.
I can see. Yeah, Mayor, you can do it on number 9.
Okay. Then if it's with your permission, Speaker, I need to read a letter which I've received from the municipal manager.
Yes, Mayor.
Which I believe with immediate effect. Okay, thanks, Speaker.
Speaker, can I recuse myself?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Should I continue, Speaker?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Speaker. Speaker, I received a letter from the acting municipal manager, Mr. David Duenas, dated on the 9th of the 3rd, 2021. And it's about the acting allowance in positions of acting director, integrated human settlements, and acting municipal manager. Dear Executive Mayor, my discussions with you as well as with the chairperson of the Section 80 Finance and Corporate Service Committee during February 2021 regarding the above mentioned acting allowance refer. I was appointed by council as the acting director, integrated human settlements from July 2020 until October 2020, and then again from October 2020 until December 2020. During December 2020, council appointed me as the acting municipal manager until the 12th of March 2021. During a special council meeting on the 24th of February 2021, the appointment of the acting municipal manager was extended for another 6 months, ending in mid-September 2021. During my appointment, I did not receive any acting allowance for the appointment in the aforementioned positions. However, I was informed that the current acting allowance policy does not make provision for the acting dispensation when an employee acts in a Section 54(8) Now, I'm not questioning whether that is still applicable, that specific section, or 56 post. Council had the opportunity to rectify this matter during various council and special council meetings. The attempt to address the policy challenge has been submitted to the Section 80 committee meeting. However, I just love this word because a previous CFO used this word a lot, Mr. Easton. The Section 80 committee recommended to the MACO as follows. 1, bullet 1, that the report on the review of the acting allowance and additional responsibility policy be noted. Bullet point 2, that the following clause be included in the acting allowance and additional responsibilities policy. Paragraph 5.9. In the case of an employee who is acting in Section 54A and Section 56 position who is already earning a higher basic salary, as the 60% of the remuneration package of the post in which the person is acting, an acting allowance amount to 5% of his basic salary will be paid. The fundamental challenge with this recommendation is that it will not and cannot be implemented retrospectively. In other words, the issue of the back pay will not be addressed. I stated to you during our previous engagement that this matter is of principle, and I will not proceed with my duty as acting municipal manager until this matter has been resolved. I will complete my tenure ending on the 12th of March 2021. It is my view that the additional responsibilities and the fact that council do not address the issue of acting allowances in any of the resolutions leaves me with no other option but to take a stance in this regard. I notify you that as from Monday the 15th of March 2021, I will report for duty as the manager parks. Yours faithfully, DJ Adonis, acting municipal manager. So Speaker, that is the letter that I've received from Mr. Adonis. I brought it in front of council for council to discuss and make a decision, because Speaker, we will not have the opportunity for another council meeting to address the specific issue. I thank you.
Thank you, Maya, for that communication. Anyone want to say something on the letter that the Maya just read?
Speaker.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Speaker, thank you very much, man. Speaker, I'm not quite sure. I've listened to what the mayor just read now, and I just want to seek a clarity, Speaker, as to what is the fuss around this thing of 5%. You know, and if I can just get maybe an assistance in the absence of Mr. Adonis, supposed to have excused himself from this meeting, if we can just get a clarity from maybe manager illegal, you know, I mean, just to simplify this matter, you know, for me, because I do not understand as to basically what is the fuss, why are we, I've listened to the issue of the threshold and so on, Speaker. I just want to get the clarity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Ms. Paulson. Ms. Paulson. I don't know what happened to legal now.
Speaker, sorry, I was talking to myself. If I understand the Deputy Mayor correctly, he just needs guidance on what the current position is on payment. Now, ordinarily, Speaker, if I were to act in another manager's, or say, for example, the legal advisor would act for me, then she would be placed in the same position in terms of remuneration as I am, because she would be paid the difference between my salary and her salary. If our salaries are the same, she would be paid 5% on her salary. Now, if I were to act for the Director of Corporate Services, I am only remunerated the difference between my salary and 60% of the director's salary. Now, with the current upper limits restricts that the 60% for most managers, the difference, there is no difference between the salary of line managers and 60% of the directors' managers. My view expressed previously, and that was shared by the human resources managers, that we could fall back on the default clause because of the fact that now the salaries are equal, and then a 5% should then be paid. But the policy is not specific in that regard, so it is then requested for council to amend the policy. But we still don't address the issue of Mr. Adonis, because he acted and he was not remunerated for that acting. Let me take, for example, at present, the Director Community Services, Mr. Franz, is acting and is being remunerated for that acting. Similarly, Mr. Petuna is being remunerated. I hope I answered Councillor Chengwa.
Thank you, Ms. Paulson. Deputy Mayor, are you okay with that explanation?
No, Speaker. I'm fine, Speaker. Fine.
I see Councillor Matika's hand up and Councillor Luzuko.
And Councillor Salaries, Speaker.
And Councillor Salase.
Speaker.
Councillor Matika, I'm waiting for you.
Oh, I'd like to request the
And Councillor Luzuko and Councillor Matika.
I'd like to request 10 minutes caucus, please.
Okay. Thank you. Granted.
Speaker, are we not back yet? Speaker?
Nee jong, vandag vat ek hier die hele dag.
Councillor Kraut, are you back? Councillor, let me just make a roll call to check if everyone is back. Councillor Bester?
I'm back, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Kraut? Councillor Davis?
Madam Speaker, I'm back for the third time.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. I'm also here. Councillor Quinana? Just put my camera on.
Gonna speak. You going in, what?
Councillor Matika, yes, I can see you. Councillor Matika?
Corner speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Matuana.
Corner speaker.
Councillor Naki?
Corner speaker.
Councillor Ngezu?
Ngelo speaker.
Councillor Sabah?
Present, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Selassie, thank you, Councillor Sabah.
Yeah, Fumanega Speaker.
Councillor Skosana? Councillor Skosana? Councillor Strubel?
Speaker, I'm here. Can you my scene speak?
Yeah. Councillor Tsengwa?
Yeah, present speaker, present.
Okay, Councillor Chokolo, just put your camera on. Councillor Chokolo, I can see you.
Yes, Speaker, I'm here.
Thank you. Councillor Maketa?
Present, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Van Aswegen, Mayor?
I'm present. I'm present.
Councillor Weideman?
I'm present.
And Councillor Wolmerans?
Teenwoordig.
Thank you. Only person that I didn't hear, Councillor Kraut?
Present, Speaker.
Councillor Matika. Councillor Matika.
Present, Speaker.
Mayor. Not sure, did I see you?
Yes, Speaker, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor,
Where you want me now to respond on this item, I didn't ask for caucus, but I'm prepared to respond to some of these issues which were raised by councillors and probably come up with an idea for the way forward in this regard.
Okay.
Speaker.
But your camera is not on, so can you just put your camera on so that I can note you on the register.
Did he praat met my?
Yes, Mayor. I was saying you must just put
Oh,
your camera
sorry,
on.
apologies, Speaker. I thought he was still busy with the roll call, Speaker. Speaker, I think what is important for me is to inform councillors of my responsibilities when it comes to the situation. And I did not have any choice than to ask you, as a matter of urgency, to read the letter of the municipal manager, because it forms part of my responsibility to inform council on the situation. Speaker, just for some background information, I believe that we were very lucky, Speaker, that we had a person like Mr. Dunis that was prepared to act not only as a manager integrated human settlements, knowing the challenges there at that specific point when he took over, but as well as prepared to serve as the acting municipal manager after the time of Dr. Skippers came to an end. And then Mr. Dunis, in this case, we were lucky because we spent serious money on acting persons, especially in the position of acting of municipal manager. Just for information, that when you look at that specific position, the amount that we spent was seriously. We spent the salary of Mr. Dr. Batala, which was 1.381 million. We also paid Dr. Gratz in her capacity as acting, which was 480,000 rand. In excess of 480,000 rand, we spent in excess to Dr. Skippers an amount of 707 million rand. Thousand rand. So when you look at the total expenditure in that position up to now, it was in excess of 2.5 million. In fact, it was 2.569 million. 2,569,612. So, Speaker, looking at that, we were very fortunate to have Mr. Dunis to act in that position. And from my point as the mayor, I could not fault Mr. Dunis in executing his duty. Sometimes I believe he went beyond what is expected from him during the time that he acted. And I just feel, Speaker, that it's important that we acknowledge that, and that Mr. Dunis being remunerated accordingly. It will not only cost us far less than we currently expend previously, but it also creates a situation whereby Mr. Dunis, being a citizen of this town, would be able to be very close to the community when we experience problems. And so that reason, Speaker, that I believe that we should really consider paying Mr. Dunis. I know there's an item which will be on the mayoral committee we will discuss later, But that item itself, Speaker, as Mr. Doonis in letter clearly stated, does not address his situation. And it's for that reason, Speaker, that I would request Council to consider empowering me or give me authority to negotiate with Mr. Doonis in that regard, which would be to the benefit not only of himself, but to the municipality. Speaker, thanks. That is just some background which I need to give to Council.
Thank you, Mayor. I see there's a hand up.
We have the hands before Speaker.
It's an old hand.
My hand is not an old hand.
I think
Councillor
Councillor Matika is put their hands before it's going to the caucus, Speaker. I think you must go in that way.
Okay. Councillor Matika.
And then also Councillor Salah as the Speaker. After.
Councillor Matika.
Speaker?
Do you still want to say something?
No, I think the mayor has covered. Speaker.
Okay, Councillor Selassie.
No, yes, Speaker. Speaker, to me, I think this issue is an issue we're supposed to deal with them long ago. But because of this councillor, we like to drag things. In these days, we are not taking the decision these days. We like to babysitting issues. I don't know why. I think, Speaker, to me, there's no one can do the work without payment. I think the acting MM has already done the job for us. I don't know why we are not, because we are all of us, we are the council. We can take even decision even now that the administration must continue to pay David Adonis. The money is starting, the month is starting working, acting. 5% must calculate in that time until now. We are the councillor who are waiting for. I don't know why in these days we are busy, because it's only what we are doing, it's only caucus we are doing. We are taking the decision that we are recommend here as a councillor that Mr. Adonis must get the back pay the first month start working until the time is finished, must we get the 5%. The administration can work on that. And then the issue of the police who can continue and try to recover that, because we cannot allow the person who can work without getting any money. Even me as a council, if I work, I need to pay in the end of the month. If I can't pay the end of the month, the people must take decisions so that I get my money. Is busy, massage in busy. I don't think it's fair to me, Mayor, to continue meetings and meetings and meetings. To me, we can take the decision now so that the administration can do that. This is what I think I can suggest to me. We cannot prolong these things and allow another. We have the opportunity to negotiate this thing. 3 months is gone now. Negotiating again, another month of negotiation. I think it's not fair. To me, I take decision that the administration will go on that. We must start working for the month started. Until now, must get their money, must calculate their money, must get their money, and then we are sorted out. The administration must be advised on that. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Selassie. Any more hands?
Speaker?
Yes.
Speaker, no thanks. And I love the way that, yeah, Speaker, thank you again. I love the way that Councillor Salasin wants us to operate because it will speed up a lot of issues. I just need to inform Council and Councillor Lasse that I never had any negotiation with Mr. Dunis. Mr. Dunis was appointed by Council on all these positions, and councillors at that stage were quite well aware of our policy pertaining allowances. Now, that, Councillor Salasi, we want to address through the amendment of the current policy, which is currently in front of the mayoral committee later. I think, Speaker, what is important here for us to take note that I don't believe that council can be seen as not want to care about its officials. But if we are clear in stating that we need to follow our policies and bylaws, then sometimes, Councillor Lasse, that creates a delay because you either then ignore a policy or these things and continue, which in itself creates other problems, or you then just amend it. And that is the delay, Councillor Lasse, in this whole process. But I totally agree with you. Council could take a decision today to deal with the issue of Mr. Dunis. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Madam Chair, it's Sharon, Councillor Sabak. I don't know if you could see my hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Sabak.
May I speak, Madam Chair?
Yes, Councillor Sabak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I'd like to thank the Mayor for bringing this to our attention and for him giving us clarity with regard to what information we need. I would like to kindly request the Mayor to please, if he would, share the correspondence he's received from Davy Adonis. And I'd just like to ask a question. In terms of the allowance that is being requested, my understanding is that the additional amount that would be paid would be in the region of around 3,600 Rand, and that would be before tax. We are currently, as a municipality, saving in a municipal manager's salary, or an acting municipal manager's salary of 115,000 Rand per month, in that Davy Adonis is currently employed. If we were to get somebody from an external perspective to act, it would cost us that amount of money. So my question would be, and I would ask that the legal department give us clarity. We have to work within the legislated framework, and my concern would be is to what extent the amount that is paid by the allowance would make the salary above the upper limits, and what clarity we require in terms of that is I ask from Melanie Paulson, please, if she could clarify it, because we as councillors also have a responsibility to work within the legislated framework. So if we could get that clarity, please, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sabah. Ms. Paulson.
Speaker. If I understand Councillor Sabah correctly, she wants to know about the upper limits. Now, when we look at salaries for line managers, and that has for a very long time even been the submissions by provincial government, there are a number of line managers who are already earning above the upper limits as it stands, especially the bottom of it. And what we are looking at is a difference of 60%. And this is payment of an acting allowance to an employee who is already permanently employed as a manager in this municipality. So the upper limits does not find application to Mr. Adonis because he is already employed by us in a permanent position. He's an ordinary employee and not a senior manager.
Thank you, Melanie. Councillor Kraus, I see your hand is up, and Councillor Davis, and I don't know if Councillor Salasi was an old hand.
No, it's a new hands after all of other councillors speaking.
Okay.
Speaker, can you please note me as well?
Councillor Kraut? Okay, Councillor Davis?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. You know, I want to concur with my colleague and what other councillors have said. You know, it's very unfortunate that Mr. Donors has gone through this. You know, and I think, as you alluded to, Mayor, it is really a matter of principle. But I think, you know, you've clarified that for us, Melanie. And I think I don't see there's any reason why we can't just continue and allow that. I mean, if you were to work it out, it's so silly because, please forgive me if I say silly. I don't mean it to take any seriousness away from the issue. But I mean, if you look at that amount that he deserves to get as in his acting position, and that's before tax. I mean, if you take tax off that, I mean, it's even less than 2,000 rand. I mean, if you use common sense. So at the end of the day, I think, Madam Speaker, if we can proceed on this and do what is necessary to rectify this, you know, because as my colleague has said, she mentioned there's a massive saving to have Mr. Donors there. As I've said previously, he's been doing an excellent job with his internal. He's here. As the Mayor had said, he understands the community is on the ground. So I want to concur with what the other councillors have said to say that, you know, let us rectify this and let us, whatever, you must advise us on what decision we need to make to expedite this process. But thank you for that, Speaker. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Councillor Salaries?
Okay, yes, Speaker. Speaker, also myself, Speaker, I thank to Mayor to take a strong position to put this issue in front of us, Speaker. Speaker, sorry, Speaker,
I'm not sure what happened to your device now, Councillor Salaries. Councillor Kraut? Your hand was up. I can't see it now.
Sorry, Speaker, that wasn't ordered.
Are you back, Councillor Salaries?
Yes, I'm back, Speaker. Sorry, Speaker. Yes, Speaker, man. For me, Speaker, I don't think all of us, we agree that there's no one who can work without a payment. The fundamental issue, the person now is already working, is already do the job. If this person does not do the job because of this 5%, we are sitting without a MM. That's why I say that I'm not in position of the person is working now. But to me, we need to take the decision. I see the lower limit of the payment and the administration, but I believe that the decision of the council is to make a more weight, and we are motivated later with the administration. That's why, Mayor, I'm saying, when your house is burning, the issue of the water is supposed to pay the water and you deal with that issue later. At the moment, we're trying to solve the problem of the fire. I think, to me, whatever level of the decision, this is the decision who can put us in this end of the month. MM must pay all the money is working. The council, even we are sitting now, we can take decision, but as long as in the the month, this person can get the money. What I do not agree to continue. I don't think it's good, even for everyone. Whatever route we are taking now, we must sort the problem. The end of the month, the person must get the money because it's working under pressure in this our municipality. We must get at least the 5%. We can be made more. Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Selassie. Councillor Kraus and Councillor Tsengwa.
My hand is up also, Councillor Maketa.
Okay, Councillor Maketa. Okay, DM, you can go. I don't know what happened to Councillor Kraus and then Councillor Maketa.
No, Speaker, thank you very much, man. Speaker, I think all councillors are sharing the same sentiment here. And we all agree, Speaker, that nobody can perhaps work without being paid. And I don't want to echo what other councillors have just raised earlier on, that the very serious amount of money which we are saving by having Mr. Adwonis as our acting MM. You know, Councillor Sabah have just made mention of the fact that we are paying an external person will cost us 115,000 a month. Now, this current acting MM is just with this 5% which you're talking about. We are talking around about 3,000, 2.9, or when that 3,000 has been taxed, we are just talking about 1.9, 1,900. Speaker, from where I'm sitting, I think this matter is brought before us as council, right? And having listened to all other councillors speak, I think I'm in agreement. Speaker, I don't really want to waste time because now this matter was brought before us some time ago, and the matter has vanished, and the matter has been, is before us. Now I think it is one of the very serious matters. Officially, I also need to thank the mayor for bringing this issue before us as council. You know, and I'm sure when the mayor brought it, he brought the item before us so that we can make a decision. Speaker, I want to move that all what belongs to Mr. Adwonis, let's pay the man the 5% which he must get and finish about this issue once and for all, you know? And I really want to agree with Councillor Salazar. Let's pay the man. There is absolutely no point for us to dilly-dally because we cannot operate without a municipal manager, you know. So, Speaker, basically that's my take. I want to propose, if there was no body which have proposed, that we must resolve into this council meeting to sort this thing of Adwonis, and the man must just be paid. And thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Maketa.
Councillor Kraus.
Speaker, yeah, no, I definitely agree with the other councillors that Dawie Adwonis is definitely an asset to this council. But the mayor, I think the mayor did ask in the beginning that we should give him a mandate to negotiate on behalf of the council with Mr. Adwonis. So yeah, I think we should actually do that. Give the mayor that mandate.
Speaker.
Councillor Kraus.
Thank you, Speaker. Sorry, Speaker, when my hand is up, you overlook me, and then when you want to talk, to give me an opportunity, then I was busy with something else. Speaker, I would like to make the recommendation, Speaker, that that council mandates the mayor to deal. Currently, there is a policy. The policy will work only from, after the council meeting. But let me mandate the mayor to deal with the issue of the acting MM, and that the mayor also sort out any backdated money related to the acting positions of Mr. Dawie Adwonis. So,
thank you, Councillor Kraus.
Mayor, I think you must.
I'm sorry, Councillor Kraus. Apologies. You are breaking up.
Maybe you can just. Who's breaking up, Speaker?
You are breaking up. You are breaking up.
Am I breaking up? Me?
Yes.
Speaker, you are breaking up.
Okay.
Speaker, so Mayor, maybe if you can assist me on that one with we just nee, hoekom breek ek op? Okay.
No, wait, but you just accused me. I'm fine now.
I don't know, Speaker. I'm talking and then they say
No,
I'm
but I
breaking
can
up.
hear you now.
Okay. No, it's fine, Speaker. I think the Mayor will assist me with that recommendation. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Sabah. And then the Mayor's hand is also up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to say or thank Melanie Paulson for her clarity. So on the basis of the fact that we are within the legislative framework, I would agree that we proceed. If I'm correct in what is being requested, that Darby is also asking for a back payment of his allowance. If that is the case, then my view is that if we're in agreement and it's within the legislative framework, I think we need to go ahead. And I do agree that Darby Adonis has been doing an excellent job and we need to address this. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sabah. May I see your hand is up? Councillor Davis is an old hand.
Speaker, no. So this one will do quite simple to speak.
Madam Speaker, I think I'll let the Mayor speak, and then if there's anything else, I will say, but it's fine for now. Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker, no, I think that's very simple. Listening to Melanie and as well as what Councillor Barrow said, we can just make a simple recommendation that we pay Mr. Adonis in 5% acting allowance, including the back pay, subject to the acting allowance and additional responsibility policy amendment, because we didn't justify what we decide here. So it's quite simple. I would recommend to council that we pay Mr. Adonis the 5% acting allowance as well as the back pay for him acting in that position, as well as acting in the position of many direct integrated human settlements, subject to the amendment of the policy. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, can we go? I see Councillor Kraus, your hand is still up. Councillor Davis, are you now covered?
I'm covered, Madam Speaker. I'm covered 100%. Thank you.
Councillor, do we go with that recommendation coming from the Executive Mayor?
Yes, Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I think we came to the end of our special council meeting. Thank you, Councillor Sabah.
Madam Speaker, yes, the Mayor didn't indicate whether or not he would send the correspondence to the councillors, and also just wanted to get clarity. If we resolve this now, does that mean that the acting municipal manager withdraws the fact that he will resume in his previous position and will continue as the acting municipal manager? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sabah. Deputy Mayor.
Speaker in demand, Speaker.
Oh, sorry, Mayor.
Speaker, yeah, no, I think Councillor Sabah, I will ask Kirsty to provide all councillors with the information requested, even the letter of Mr. Adonis and other issues which was attached to that, to make available to all councillors. Speaker, I believe that after the decision that Mr. Adonis, knowing him, the type of person he is, and very principle, that he would therefore agree to council and withdraw, I wouldn't say withdraw the letter, but accept what council put forward.
Okay, Mayor, thank you.
You want Mr. Adonis to respond that
you want to come back into the meeting, or will you just negotiate with him?
I will have to convey to Mr. Adonis the council decision now.
Okay.
Then he can make a comment on.
Okay, Mayor, can you just then put that maybe to all councillors, maybe through an email?
Speaker, yes, I will ask Kirsty to do that. She will do it immediately.
Councillors, is that in order with you?
Yes, Speaker, that's fine.
Thank you,
Thank
Speaker.
you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. I think this meeting is now adjourned. The maker will follow. Will the maker now be at 11? Because
Fine.
What time will the maker then now be at 11 or 10:30? Mayor?
Speaker, no, my apologies. I wasn't muted.
No, I'm asking the maker meeting will be at 10:30.
Did you ask them to come back into the meeting?
No, I said we now agree that you will convey the message via email after you've spoken to the MM.
No, it's fine. I will do that, Speaker.
Is your maker going to start at 11:30, at 10 or 11?
Speaker, I've instructed Michael that we will have our meeting in council chambers. So we will probably need about 15 minutes to set that up. Just remember there's also a presentation.
It's now 10:25.
Yeah, so Speaker, we probably start at 11:15.
Okay.
Just to make sure that everybody is present and all people are there to start the meeting. It will be a very quick meeting.
Yeah, I'm just want to all councillors to have the correct time.
11:15.
Thank you.
Jy moet hardop jong, los hy beeste net so af. Kom aan.
Yeah, Mayor, man, can I get into the...
You can discuss it with the mayor, Councillor Salaries.
You will have to discuss it with the mayor.
Thank you, councillors. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, bye.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.